Hi, this is Scott Schilling. Welcome to this live stream. I'm the authentic connector. What do I mean by that? Well, I've been very blessed. I've done over 3,000 live events in my career, and I've basically shared the stage with every name you know. You may or may not know my name, but that wasn't really important at the time. It was simply to do the task at hand. Well, because of that, I've met some really amazing people. And quite frankly, those amazing people become great connections. So I specialize in accelerating results through people, products, and projects. What does that mean? Well, basically, if you need to know somebody in particular, I probably have access to them. Now, I don't know everybody, but I kind of know everybody who knows everybody. So we introduce you to people. And then products, because I've done what I've done in my career, a lot of people come to me with various products and ask that I share those with the field and I help people along with it. So, quite frankly, I am going to talk to you about a product tonight. And then there are projects, and those might be bigger things. But the whole point is, as the authentic connector, that's really my task, is to connect you with the people, the products, and the projects that just might get you to where you want to go. So, again, I ask you to sit back, suspend disbelief for a little bit. We're actually going to do an interview with a great friend of mine who is having tremendous success with a wellness product. And more importantly, they got a really unique program. I started taking the product. Many of you know this, and some of you may not. I had 2 hips replaced in the last 6 months. They just got to the point where I wore them out. A lot of sports over a lot of years. Well, the fact is, anytime you have that kind of physical hit on your body, now it is the most amazing rebirth of my life having those new hips. But there are other things that come with it. And quite frankly, the rebirth has got me wanting to get in the best shape for the rest of my life. And so I found this product and started taking it, and I noticed some anecdotal results. And again, we'll talk about that here in a second. But I just felt important to share it with you all for a variety of reasons. They got a really, really unique program. How'd you like to get started and just be able to capitalize and monetize the influence that you already have? Being able to do things like we're doing right here. Or how about starting with little or no financial commitment? You can earn your way into things. Or what about not having to build a team or doing anything like that to accomplish it? So again, I why am I telling you about this? Why don't I just share my interview with a great friend, Grace Ho, and let's just hear what Grace has to say, and then I'll come back in just a little bit. See you in a minute. Hey, it's Scott Schilling, the Authentic Connector, and I'm really excited about my guest here today. You know, the Authentic Connector is all about accelerating results through people, products, and projects. Well, this is one of those people that, quite frankly, you need to know, but it's also one of those products that you need to know about. So we'll get more into that now. My guest today has had an amazing career in global training. In fact, co-founded a company that has coached and consulted probably 30 of the top 100 direct sales companies of all time. I mean, has won numerous awards, we could go on forever. Grace, how welcome. Thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you so much, Scott, for having me. It's an honor.
So we first met as at some of those events where you were out training and consulting and helping people be so successful in what they were doing. I love the fact that you pour into people to allow them to accomplish their dreams and goals. Well, now all of a sudden you left all of that because you found something so special. What's your story with Bella Grace?
Yes. Well, I was originally brought on to provide professional development and training and leadership for the US market. And then that would have expanded as the company continues to expand globally. And so I thought it was going to be business as usual until they sent me 15 of these. And once I took 5 of these, this is the product. It's a health elixir. Took 5 for 5 days, took one for 5 days, and I noticed a difference. And then after day 15, I said to myself, Scott, I don't want to go a day without this in my body. And then my strategic mind started thinking, well, how many other people around the world are going to feel the same way that I'm feeling right now? And how can I be a part of that? So it was a big decision. I mean, we had just got certified as a women-owned small business through the SBA, as well as a minority business enterprise. We were preparing to do work for the government. I mean, expanding beyond the network marketing direct selling profession and working in with traditional organizations as well as the government. And so that's what the plan was. And then this happened. So it was not something that I was looking for. I knew, though, what I was looking at.
And great distinction there.
Yeah. Scott, I knew what I was looking at. I mean, I had the pick of the litter. I've worked with so many of the top companies, and everywhere I go, companies would give me handfuls or, even luggage full of product, or services or whatever they had to offer. So I really had an idea. Also, before I would go in and work with any organization, I would study everything about them. So I would know and be familiar to be able to speak the language of their audience, because that's what a professional does. We don't just go in there and just throw something on the wall and hope it sticks. We are going in there with purpose. We're going in there with professionalism, and so that they would be more receptive to the message. So I saw what was out there. And then I knew what I had my hands on.
That's really awesome. I mean, that's kind of the way I am. I've been very blessed to meet so many wonderful people like yourself and so many others. And, they're so passionate about, typically, we have the same passion, and that passion is how can we serve others to help them achieve what they want to achieve in their lives. And for me, I mean, I had 2 hips replaced over the last 6 months. And, it's amazing that all of a sudden you have people who reach out to you and say, hey, we have something that's pretty darn good for that. So we'll get into that in a second. But what made you say yes to Bella Grace?
There were many things. One is the corporate executive team has had experience in this channel, both in the field, and that was important to me. So they know what we're walking in and what we're walking through every single day. So having that awareness, and I also appreciated the way they communicate with one another, the way they communicate with us, and their leadership. I also was not looking to lug and tug products. Yeah. If I was going to participate in something, I want it to be something that I can do from the comforts of my home, the comforts of my phone. I mean, I love the virtual aspects. I traveled all around the world to deliver a talk. There were clients that would say, oh, you're going to fly 20 hours to speak for 2 and then fly 20 back. There's a lot of wear and tear on the body. I lugged and tugged books for 21 years. I was not about to lug and tug. I love the concept of a subscription model where people, which by the way, 8 to 9 out of 10 people, so we have a high 80%, those that go on subscription will stay on subscription for this product. Since the inception of the company, those are the stats. So I was looking for something that was also a pre-measured out consumable. So there was no guesswork on how they were taking it. I was also looking for a product that had efficacy, that was also leading edge and effective. It wasn't going to take 90 days to see a difference. I was noticing a difference in 5 and 15 personally, and it's an intuitive product, meaning it's going to go to where the body needs it the most. And then as we take it consistently, it's going to move into other areas of the body to show and to feel an impact. So no lugging and tugging, a consumable, a rewards plan. I became accustomed to a certain level of, what am I, what is my hourly rate? What is my day rate? I became
Right.
accustomed to that. So whenever I'm looking at something, I'm looking at how can I create maximum return for my investment of time? And what I love about this business that's unique from our speaking and coaching practices, with speaking and coaching or traditional business, you are trading time for dollar. Even though you're an entrepreneur, when you go to deliver that talk, you're getting paid on that talk once, unless you have an annual or a multi-annual contract, or unless you have any type of licensing for your material. If you do not have that, or you're on retainer, if you don't have that, then it is you're doing one event, you're paid for that one event, and then that's it. Whereas with this business, what I know, and now I'm even picking and choosing when I have people that are reaching out to me for speaking or events, I'm very selective on what projects I'm taking. I'm not taking them all. And people are like, well, why wouldn't you do that? And I said, well, I love the option. I said, look at it this way. When I am putting my time and my energies and efforts into this business, I'm going to be rewarded for those efforts next week, next month, next year, 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
I do one speaking engagement, I'm rewarded that day or that month. And then I've got to go and do it again. So that time, yes, I'm making an impact. Yes, I'm making a difference. Yes, I'm excited about that. And it is a one-time exchange, whereas every minute that I put into this business, I'm creating a return on it. I also love that you asked the question, so you opened up a whole bunch of possibility.
Well, I got all sorts of thoughts on all this, so it's great.
Oh, you're like you, and I have a list because everything. I'm very methodical about decisions that I make.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also very it's almost like I'll look at something and I'll say, okay, I'll either if I don't get it right away, no one else will. So when I got it, I looked at the fact that the rewards plan and how we are paid out and rewarded, and how there's weekly pay, monthly pay, and quarterly pay. I looked at the fact that we can will our business to someone else. I witnessed a woman that perished. She was the sole provider for her family. She was in this profession. She retired her husband. Not Bella Grace. Her direct selling business was the sole provider for her family. And when she passed away that night, her business rolled up to her mentor, and there was zero income coming to the family, and there was no willable possibility. I learned that more than a decade ago. I witnessed that. And I said, if ever I would ever consider going back into the field again after 21 years, it would be that willing my business would be in play in order to have my participation. And that is something that they've done. So those, again, the product based on science, impacting people. We've got Oscar award-winning actresses on this product. We have Hollywood celebrity makeup artists. We've got doctors, a physician of the year doctor that's sharing this product because she has experienced the efficacy of this and believes that it can also have an impact on her patients. Naturopaths, chiropractors, spas, you name it. We've got someone that has her own television show that is sharing the product. Many professional athletes are taking the product, or collegiate athletes are taking the product. So we've got such an array. I also loved the innovations. Most companies don't have marketing material, and I think you were going to show a video here.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to share. Because if I don't break in here, you go, because I know your excitement, which is great. Nothing about that. But my speaking mentor said one of the reasons that you become a professional speaker, which I've done now for a long time, is to present once, get paid over and over and over again. But here's the difference: when you present a product or you present something like that, it does pay over and over again, versus being a just like you say, delivering a keynote, you're actually just a higher priced hourly worker. No, it's a good rate. Don't get me wrong, right? So we've both had that opportunity throughout our careers as well. But I agree with you. I've always been that guy that has presented things that will serve people, and if it serves you, take advantage of it. And if it doesn't, God bless you. That's cool too. At least you now know about it, right? Well, a couple of things that you've said along the way. When you say 80+% are staying on subscription and utilizing the products, that has to mean that the product is working, that there are some significant results. Now, no medical claims here. Just want to put that's never done, but it's anecdotal, right? People are experiencing, like you said, all of a sudden. So what are some of those results that people are getting?
Sure. Improvements in immunity, improvements in joint health. I had a client yesterday that manages a spa. She ordered 2 boxes for herself. Her son started taking it. She said, Grace, my son's taking 2 a day, which means that I need 2 more a month because she did not anticipate him taking this product. And what he said is he can concentrate better. He's actually a professional gamer. He is a massive sponsored influencer on gamification, and that is one thing that our product is impacting, is the esports component, where eye health, addressing brain fog. It actually one of the ingredients won all throughout Asia. It's called astaxanthin. It won ingredient of the year for cognitive function. So when you see this list of benefits, some people are like, even a good friend of mine who worked for Procter & Gamble for over 30 years, he said to me, Grace, when you see the list of benefits, you almost feel like it's too good to be true. And he said, and Grace, after taking this product for 5 consecutive months, it is true. It is not too good to be true. It is true. Actually, he was responsible to take a product, find the champion products within their range and support those products to go global. And he said, I know what I'm looking at. So he sees it. Somebody of that caliber that was responsible for finding champions, finding the stallions in the mix.
Well, sometimes when it's like that, I mean, it's just good enough to be true. Right? It doesn't have to be too good to be true. It's just good enough to be true. But the only way, again, that's why I encourage people, no matter what is presented to you, critically think through the process. Is it potentially of benefit to you? If you have something, I mean, I can assure you that I lived with many years prior to my hip replacements. I was bone on bone. I was actually bone spur on bone spur. I am a walking cortisol factory because of the inflammation in my body. Well, the cortisol creating the inflammation, back and forth. And so, yes, I had both hips replaced. So I am bionic. I am titanium, strengthened, powered by titanium. But the fact is, there's still, inflation. Yes, there is still inflation, unfortunately. There's inflammation that needs to be eradicated through this whole process. So that's what's interesting to me. The other thing, you've got this very unique influencer program. So I know that as we were chatting, you'd said something about health and wellness practitioners are really excited about, because they're influencing their patients' health going forward, health and wellness going forward. Share a little bit about that. It's pretty fascinating.
Oh, it is. It's actually, it was awarded and acknowledged by the Social Selling News before we even rolled out. When they looked at the plan, they saw that the way we have structured our influencer program is a standard for our profession. So many people are looking to mimic what we've created and are rolling out with. So an influencer program it's free influencer. We see it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, people that are excited about sharing a product without necessarily building or growing an organization. Oftentimes influencers, they're paid for a set amount of time when they're going to go and share a product. Usually it's 30, 60, 90 days. But then after that 90-day period, they'll receive the revenues generated within that time frame, and then the company will roll that customer into its fold. Well, with Bella Grace, what we're saying is when you introduce this client to the product through your social media or through face-to-face marketing, when you do that, that client will be connected to your account and you will receive ongoing revenue month in and month out without a cost of goods, meaning that you do not have the inventory, you don't have customer service, you don't have shipping and handling, you don't have to charge the product, you don't have to handle the 30-day money-back guarantee returns. All of that is handled by Bella Grace. And because you introduce them, you receive a residual revenue every single month that is paid out weekly. So that can be quite substantial. So a lot of these brick and mortar businesses that experienced the global staycation, when their doors were shut, their business was shut.
Yeah.
With Bella Grace incorporated into the way they're doing business, they can have people placing orders because they have their link or this customized QR code that we create for them. And they're in business morning, noon, and night, whether their doors are opened or closed. And they have offsite revenues that they're generating and bringing in to their either business or into their family, into their household. So we're having an impact.
They don't have to build a team. It's simply talking to the people they already talk to. The other thing, did you say they don't even have to have a subscription?
They don't have to have a subscription. No, they don't. They're not obligated to purchase any product. We don't have, and I love this standard about the company. When you make referrals, you are not obligated to buy. Sometimes what happens is that you've got to buy what you're making in order to get paid. Right. Whereas in this situation, there is no buying obligation. If you feel passionate about this product and know that it can make a difference, whether you're taking it or not, you can share the good news and receive a residual revenue stream as a result of that.
Well, I mean, that's why I say I've never heard of anything like that before. And that's why I say it's a totally unique influencer program. And for those who want to put it into their business, they certainly can from that side. But I mean, I just think that that's fascinating you go have a great meal, you tell your friends, you go see a great movie. That's probably 20 years ago. I don't know if there are any of these days. Right. It's been a while since, but basically you tell people, right? If something's working for you. And that's why, again, I, haven't been taking the product long, but I like the path that it's on. And I certainly have parts that need attention. Some of us more mature folks, that's code word for older. Some of us more mature folks could probably do this. But I love the fact when you were talking about cognitive abilities. I mean, that's one of the greatest challenges, quite frankly, I think our country is facing these days is as our population ages, cognitive I can't even think of the word. The cognitive abilities have been impacted by so many different things, obviously. So that's what a fabulous benefit that would be.
Oh, and I'm so excited for you to continue to be consistent on the product, Scott. I know it's going to impact you. I've been on it consistently for 10 months now. And I haven't gone a day without it. It's impacted skin, hair, nails, joints, energy, deeper sleep, firing on all cylinders with regards to, brain function, cognitive function. So it's quite remarkable. Inflammation. I asked my dad, he's been on the product as well. And I said, Dad, how are you doing? He goes, I'm doing great. And I said, where's your knee brace? Because he's been wearing a knee brace for years. He's, I think, bone on bone as well, waiting as long as possible to get that knee replacement surgery. And I was like, where's your knee brace? He goes, you know what? I haven't felt like I needed to wear it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the only thing he changed and shifted was our elixir. Also his skin. Most men don't wear moisturizer. And my dad is of Hawaiian descent. And he would have almost like an ashy, kind of a grayish tone to his skin. Whereas when he started taking the elixir, he now has a very hydrated skin tone. It looks like he's wearing moisturizer without the moisturizer, but he has this really nice natural glow to the skin. And I believe that that has a lot to do with the asteryl astaxanthin in the product. These three ingredients, asteryl astaxanthin, collagen, and cat's claw, work synergistically to optimize each other and then have a greater impact, or what my friend in from Hollywood says, beauty and wellness from the inside out. She said she's hooked on our product because, and not that it has anything that makes you hooked on it. She just says she's
results.
very pleased with the results.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I appreciate your time today, Scott. This has been such a pleasure to be on here with you. I hope I get the invite again. I've loved it.
That's what I was going to say. I was just like, gosh, we could keep on rolling, but I think I'd rather, create episode 2 and do it that way, because this is absolutely fascinating. Quite frankly, I was going to make a bad joke about now I can tell my wife that I can grow that late stage mullet, right? Because my hair. But I won't go there. So anyway, Grace, thanks so much for being here and really appreciate you. They can go to getbgtoday.com to check it out, and we'll give some other information so people can just, again, if this is relevant to you and resonates with you at all, it's about your needs, your wants, your desires, and how it serves you. So I really appreciate you as the expert sharing this information with everybody.
Oh, Scott, it was an honor. Thank you for including me. And thank you, everyone, for plugging into this message. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Sounds great. Thanks all for joining us. We'll see you again soon.